you don't understand, you can enjoy it. I'm telling you. It's just like music in our ears, I think, huh? Yeah. So I can say something from my experience. 2001, I was the first time. No, 2002, I was the first time in Brazil, and I missed, when I saw all these telenovelas, I missed brothers and sisters, black people in the telenovelas, because we were in Brazil, and I had the prejudice. When you go to Brazil, you see all over the place black people being present and visible, but it was not like that. But within these 24 years, I think things have changed, and it's good that all these experts are here now and talk about how they made this change, how they made things happen in their country. And Ernest is sitting here and squeezing some information out of these experts from Brazil. So we're going to continue. Right now, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mouth is full with good food. Very good. So, take your seats and enjoy this Brazilian panel. Bem-vindo.
All right, everyone. Thank you very, very much for being here. We are at AfroCannes 2025. We are excited to just be in the space, to be showing up fully as storytellers from Africa, no matter where Africa is on the planet. It's the people as much as it's the place. And so thank you all for being here again. Thanks to Prudence Colon and Yanib Foundation for putting this amazing event together, as well as, there we go. Okay, I have to put it closer. I'm a loud talker naturally, so. Thank you again for coming, everybody, to AfroCannes 2025. Today, right now, our panel is Brazil in Focus, a thematic exploration of the new faces of Brazilian cinema. And I'm feeling very nervous right now simply because I have a very deep and abiding love for Brazil in my heart. I'm Ernest White II. I'm a producer of film, television, and digital media, originally from Florida, based in Canada at the moment. And I have a television travel docuseries about friendship and connection around the world called Fly Brother, with Ernest White II. And in every episode, I visit friends who bring me into their communities, show me what they love about the place, and we show the audience the whole world is our tribe. Our very first episode was filmed in Sao Paulo. We had virtually no money. I can tell you now, we had no permits.
You're sitting right next to the
I
president
know.
of
I
SPC.
Okay.
I laid myself at your feet.
When it was?
This was back in 2016.
Okay,
Yeah.
I was not at SPC. No problem.
We have.
Okay, you have permit now.
Thank you. Forgiven.
Official.
I forced my director of photography, Pedro Serra of Do Rio Filmes in Rio. I forced him to fly the drone. He was very nervous. I said, I'll pay for whatever ticket you get, whatever multa. And so we have wonderful drone footage that's also probably, sketchy. But that said, I lived in Sao Paulo for a few years back in 2010 to 2012. I started off teaching at a high school in Brazil, Escola das Nações in Brasilia. And then moved to being an assistant editor at Time Out Sao Paulo magazine. So all of that, it's preamble, but it's just saying, again, I'm very, very touched to be sitting here and given the opportunity to chat with people that I consider to be, my home folks, my home community, because they always welcomed me in Brazil as if I was, brasileiro. So thank you. First of all, we have Lyara Oliveira, who is the president and CEO of SPCine, which is the film and audiovisual storytelling office, among many other things, in the great city of Sao Paulo. Then we have Miss Luiza Botelho, who is, again, a visual storyteller. I'm going to keep saying storyteller because I just feel like we do so much in the space. Yeah. Directing, producing, screenwriting, and of course the many different forms of media that we do it in. Next we have Mr. Luis Lomenha, also visual storyteller and academic futurist. And so if you could just give us a brief introduction of who you are and what you do.
Okay. How nice to be here again. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ernest. Thank you, Prudence. I'm very happy to be here with all of you folks again. I was here yesterday, so I will speak less because I speak a lot yesterday. But it's lovely to be here. And I'm so proud because this year is a very special year for us. Especini is 10th anniversary. And of course, we have this whole special thing that Brazil is the country of honor here in Cannes. So I think this is very significant. It's very special, not just for our team, but because we can show the world that now Brazil, not now, but right now Brazil is completely prepared to talk to the world through his audiovisual content, through his films, show the world our culture, show the world that we are able to make great content in audiovisual. So it's a very, very special year for us. Especini has announced a lot of agreements, partnerships, and some open calls. And for us, it's a really it's a year to show the world the best that we produce in São Paulo and in Brazil.
Hello, everyone. I'm Luiza Botelho, a filmmaker, storyteller. Really like that. And before anything, I want to mirror Lyara's words and thank Prudence, thank this space and all of the amazing people that are working so hard for this this platform, right? It's so important for us to be able to have a space for representation of African and the Africa diaspora in Cannes during the Cannes Film Festival, and have these conversations that can inspire us and that can bring our fight and our culture forward. I started I'm the daughter of Joel Zito Araújo, who is a very celebrated Black Brazilian filmmaker, and I've produced a few of his films, and now I'm following his footsteps as a director as well, and just recently directed a short film about Afrofuturistic short film comedy. So I really love that AfroCannes is talking about Afrofuturism. And I'm really happy to be here and have this conversation with everyone.
Hello, thank you everyone. I'm very happy to be here again. And thank you, Ernest, for a good question. Thank you, Prudence, for invitation. I'm Luiz Lomenha. I'm from Rio de Janeiro. And I'm script writer and director. And I'm very excited to hear you. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Ren. Thanks to all of you for being here again. Can you hear me? Okay. All right. Well, listen, I believe that, Brazil has historically been at the forefront of Afrofuturism in its storytelling, even, as far back as Zumbi dos Palmares, and the envisioning of and that would have been someone who had been an enslaved person, for those who don't know, and was the leader of a community of Africans, Afro-Brazilians who regained their own autonomy. I'm trying not to say ran away from slavery. It's also, for those of us that are in storytelling, a constant practicing of new ways of thinking about ourselves and our history. And so sometimes, yes, that means struggling to find the right words to honor those folks. But, Zumbi dos Palmares, Machado de Assis, who is known as kind of like the father of Brazilian literature, who also was Afro-Brazilian and the descendant of enslaved people. So historically, Brazil has always kind of been in this place. And now we have an opportunity to see it with regard to film and television. What would each of you think is a unique role that Brazil has in Afrofuturistic storytelling?
I think Brazil has a lot to do with Afrofuturism, and what I can say is that we can observe that a lot of our talents and the directors and the screenwriters, and that they have these ideas of Afrofuturism. because I think it's something that we want to create, because in Brazil, we just have this historical, we were told that Africa was bad, that there is no culture in Africa, that African continent has no knowledge, and that because black people were brought on slavery conditional, because they needed for the plantation, and they were always for that. So when we think about Afrofuturism, I think it's something, it's like to make a rebellion against this narrative that we were told. So that's why I think Brazilian is a very fruitful place for the ideas of Afrofuturism.
Amazing. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, I think, it's interesting because when I was, when we were shooting Bella LX 404, which is an Afrofuturistic story, we were having a lot of conversations about Afrofuturism on set. And one of the things that we talked about, and that I think is very interesting about the power of Afrofuturism, it is, it's more than just telling stories, but it's placing ourselves in the future and reimagining how that future can be, and how our place in that future society can be. So Brazil has always been looking forward. We've always been a country that loves innovation and loves looking at what is next. And now through the generations of filmmakers that started back and that are now, blooming, more and more of Black filmmakers in Brazil, we have this opportunity of telling these stories and placing ourselves in this future that we are creating right now.
That's right.
Last year, I read on New York Times, the youth people from New York discovered Machado de Assis. And this is very interesting because Brazil have like one specific expression in Portuguese, like síndrome de vira-lata.
Yeah.
It's look like a street dog.
Syndrome.
Yeah, syndrome. And when people know about the youth discovery Machado de Assis in US, many people goes to the bookstore to buy books. Because Machado de Assis is very Afrofuturist guy, Yes. He's so contemporary. He look like Lima Barreto. He look like Carolina de Jesus. And they have a lot of writers from Brazil. It's very Afrofuturistic. But they live in other century. It's very crazy. But I'm very hope about this movement in Brazil because the plastic art, for example, it's a very rich sector of art in the world. And now the Black people discover this, the visual and the plastic art, and they have a big wave in Brazil, the many talent to this. And then I think this kind of art make influence and literature and then different things. And the audiovisual began like 2 years ago, one big movement. And they have many Black writers in Brazil, and they have some series and movie, and we have like Martin. It's a very Afrofuturist movie,
Yes.
And the movie was nominated for Oscar in Brazil, and it's a very beautiful movie. It's very incredible, It's
What's
a
the
simple
title again, Luis? I'm sorry.
Martin.
Mars 1.
Mars 1.
Oh, Mars 1.
Mars
Yeah.
1.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mars 1.
And I'm excited about this movement there, because we have many talents to the new generation, and people hope and the different future, but in the same time, we still like the disequality, big disequality, and many Black people die every day, and many Black people goes to the jail, and we live to this like difficult simultaneous things, But I hope the power of audiovisual to change this life condition life there. I hope it.
Well, listen, the power of storytelling is what kind of keeps us going, I feel like, as a people, in spite of all of the challenges that we face throughout the diaspora. And I think when we talk about challenges, I know just from having a production team in Brazil, some of the challenges of just becoming a filmmaker and leaning into creating art in a way that is sustainable and scalable. What are some of the challenges that contemporary Black filmmakers are still facing, and some of the solutions that we see coming down the pipeline? Well, we can start with Luis if we want.
I think that the most big challenge is money, because this in this
Relatable.
moment is very difficult for us because we stay on the streaming regulamentation, you know, and then I think the money. 2 years ago, we have a lot of series and movie streaming put a lot of money to produce series and movie, but now the money lose the market, you know, and this is very, very strange, you know. And I think 2 years ago we have like almost 20 series per year, and now I know we are basically in the middle of the year, and I know just 3 and 4 series in that time there, you know, and this is very, very strange. And we have now they back the public fund, you know, and the cities or the federation, but the streaming doesn't continue to make a big investment too, and we have like one gap because this company puts a lot of money in the marketing, and the salaries is very increased, and now we get less money to the government to make the same thing, and it's very difficult to contract the professional now, and because people know it's possible you get more money, and we have like a crisis because we don't have more the power of platform at the market. You look like 2 and 3 years ago, but we have like money to the government, but the professionals have not the same conditional to work like 3 and 2 years ago. It's I think we need more investment because Brazil needs to believe the power of audiovisual industry now, because we generate a lot of space for people work, you know, and we have many space for youth people, you know, and in Brazil youth people have more difficult to have access to in general for the marketing, to work marketing.
Okay, so generally you've got a lot of money coming from the public side. Sorry. You've got a lot of money coming from the public side. And how has that changed recently at all? Or are you finding that you have these larger streaming services and other international distributors putting in less money? Is that what the scenario is?
Yeah, the distribution, the streaming platforms, they definitely, and this is not just in Brazil, it's
Sure,
all over the world, and especially in the US, right? Like I was living in the US I just came back to Brazil last year, and the industry is quite hurting from it. And on the opposite side, in Brazil, we now with the new government, there is more investment coming, which is great. And to reflect on what you were saying, which is correct, the industry, because that streaming platform was injecting so much revenue, the wages got despaired with the amount that the government is able to invest. So that's kind of like the disparity that we're facing right now. And to go back to your original question, I think that another challenge that we face, especially as filmmakers telling Black diaspora stories, is distribution. And it's not because there isn't an interest in the public, it's because the distributors and executives don't understand and don't believe that the public want to watch that content. So I faced this with 2 of the a documentary and a fiction feature film that I produced and my father was directing. One of them was My Friend Fella, and it's a documentary that premiered in Rotterdam. It won several awards around the world. It had huge commercial potential, and our distributor could not understand the potential. It could not understand how people would want to watch that documentary, even though there's millions and millions of people all around the world that wants to watch that documentary. They wanted to premiere it in a small festival in Brazil, and I was like, no, we're not doing that. So a lot of it is about the vision, is about the lack of vision, and not about the lack of actual interest from the public. And that's what we found with the other film also, O Pai da Rita, Rita's Father, which is a co-production with Global Films. The investors also, the distributors also wanted to make a small release. You know, they thought that nobody was going to want to watch it. And it was a comedy. It had a huge name in the space, Ailton Graça, who is a comedian that everybody loves. So that's something that we need to change, is our mindset in terms of there is a huge public, and even people that are not Black, they want to watch that type of content because it's fun and it's great.
Sure. And would this just be kind of an issue you find with international distributors or distributors domestically as well?
So that's a great question, and I think that we need to educate ourselves more and look more towards the world and the international distribution opportunities that there are. I think that there are a lot of opportunities. I think that we, as Brazilians, because we have a huge industry inside of our country, we kind of got used to just looking inside. And we also have the síndrome de vira-lata, the street dog syndrome, where we think that nobody's going to want to watch our content. Oh, we speak Portuguese. Why would they want to, spend money and spend time seeing what we have to say? And thousands of millions of people all over the world do. So that's another thing that we need to change our mindset. And I think, being here at the Cannes Film Festival this year, we have 400 Brazilian producers. The Brazilian government did an excellent job making sure that a lot of producers were able to make it here. And I think that's a small step towards us changing our mindset and opening ourselves up to the world distribution, which is so important. And it's there. I'm sure that they're the distributors in the room come talk to us.
Yes, heartening news, by the way.
Yeah.
Lyara.
So I just would like to say about this. I think when we talk about what the difficulties of Black producers and Black directors to make their film, to bring them out of the mind and put it to the market. I think we have 3 different issues in Brazil. It's not in Brazil, but it's just to complete, because I agree completely with what they were talking about. But just add some things. First, I think we have to think about knowledge. So we are investing, and we think that it's very, very important because we have a lot of talent people. But we understand that the audiovisual market is so aggressive and so professional. So we need to hope to support the talents, to be able to be with the structure, to be able to sit with a distributor, with an international producer, and it's not easy. Yes. So we've been working in some formation programs and some exchange programs to make it happen. The second thing that I think that is really necessary is, of course, the money. So we need to put the money, but just not put the money, but make people able to get the money. So I think that is very important. And this is also related with knowledge. And the third thing that I think that is really important and that we've been working with is to get access. So I think when we thought about these three issues, and when we try to make things to make our professionals and the companies in São Paulo or in Brazil getting more strong, getting more professionals, getting more knowledge about this huge and so powerful market. We've been working with these three arms, these three different strategies. And they are three different strategies, but they are combined. So I think, because I'm talking here not like a réalisateur, but like a person, like executive that is responsible for a public company that supports companies and professionals in Brazil. So we've been working with these three ideas, and I think we are doing good, because now we have a lot of more people, black people, and of course we always think about how to get this money, knowledge, and access through all of the professionals and the companies, but we think specifically how to get this to black professionals, to indigenous professionals, to trans people professionals. That's something that we look especially. So that's what we think about these things.
Sure. Well, I think there's great momentum happening. Like, now is the time, and we're seeing strides in many different ways. And so when we look at the fact that next week is May 25th, and that'll be 5 years since the killing of George Floyd kind of started this so-called racial reckoning around the world, including in Brazil. How do you think Brazilian concepts of racial / Afro-diasporic identity have changed, and how have they been reflected in Brazilian storytelling, do you think?
I think after the case of George Floyd, have a big movement in Brazil. And for example, the stream platform put a lot of money, and we started to make things like many black people make movies and make series. But now, I don't know what happened, because my feeling is basically it's changed. It's not more important, the black professional. And now we have like a big crisis in the culture, in audiovisual market, you know, and they have many people without job, like almost 6 and 7 months, sorry. And every day I receive like messages, the sound technician, every career at the audiovisual. We have a big crisis now, and this affects the black professional. I think is more strong than the white professional. No, and many people goes to make other thing, and my feelings is it no, and they changed really quickly. No, it's just 5 years. We just have like a one short window to make many things. No, and I think some black people cross this window, no, and have like other choice to make more things, but the others stay back. I don't know if it's possible to cross this, you know, because now when I talk to, for example, to streaming to make like a new script room or partner or channel, I don't know, and people don't have more, I think don't have more importance to have like black people inside the script room, for example. No, Disney closed the diversity building in US, no, and they changed a lot of rules in Brazil too. You know, it's not more important that this big company have like make a support to create like a space for black people work in the audiovisual market. This is my perception.
a rolling back of attention and initiatives and focus and resources even on communities that historically have been excluded.
Yes.
Oh, Lyara.
Oh, I think this one is bad.
Okay, thank you. I guess we're good on the sound. Is that it? Okay, good. Luiza.
You know, it's interesting because when I hear you, I hear you, and I also think back at 10, 20, 30 years, 40 years ago, and I see an incredible development that happened when. So, you know, my father, when I was a child, he made a documentary called Denying Brazil, which was based on his PhD study about the Black representation in soap opera, in Brazilian soap opera. And at that time, there were, even though 56% of the population in Brazil is Black, there was 1 to 5% of Black characters. And when there were any, they would be playing the maid, you know, the stereotyped, the thug or the thief or the whatever. And like I think that when I look at it, I see that there is a progress, and we got to a point that I never thought that we would get, in which we have soap operas that the main characters are Black. We have films like Mars One, where the main characters and the main filmmakers and crew is Black. And at the same time, I know that with Trump's efforts to dismantle any type of diversity, there is a talk back about kind of, okay, maybe diversity is not important anymore. So everything is very recent and it's very new. And I think that we don't walk back, we only walk forward. And the space that we have conquered, nowadays there are enough Black-owned production companies, there are enough Black filmmakers, artists, talents from all sorts of the Brazilian Black society that have conquered that space and that have that awareness of opening those doors, right? So it's interesting, but I have hope. Like I feel like we've walked so far and we're so aware of it that I hear you, but at the same time I'm like, no, I refuse. I refuse to think.
I have hope too, but it's very recent, you know, this movement, but it's affect a lot, you know, and when you have like a producing company there and you perceive like this, you know, and sometimes the government try to help the companies and try to put the money in the marketing, but we have like after the streaming movement, the market is growing, you know, and now if you look for example, in this moment for like Rio and São Paulo, the big production now, we have like almost 4 or 5, and the directors, all of director to this 5 production is white men's, you know, and I know the names, the producer, for example, and then when you see the crew, the team, and the majority is white, it changed very fast. It's if you looking for the professional, if you ask for the association, we are in the crisis now in this moment. It's very recent crisis, but we are in the crisis. And for this marketing, like we have like a very informal marketing. It's very quickly to affect these people. No, remember the pandemic time, like 3 months, the first 3 months had many people need to help, money, and then they have a big movement to save people, and this is very sensitive market, and when Trump decided to change the rules there, and all of big companies, streaming big companies in Brazil follow the Trump's idea, and then they affect us. It's very, very fast, It's very fast.
I would add just one more thing. The importance of us, in a space like this, to unite in terms of Black diaspora. Because I agree with you, and we have to be aware, but we also have Black professionals all over the world that are willing to make business. There's investment, there's money, there's opportunities, and I think that we need to open up to that as well.
But I agree with you about the actors, and they change a lot. No, I love the movie of other movies. It's incredible. And now when we see the television, we have many protagonists, Black protagonists. But if you ask these people about the money, and if you compare to the white people, it's very less. It's a stranger, and when you ask the people, for example, to the most big company, the television company in Brazil, if you ask the Black people stay back the camera, it's the same, it's the same, and the companies reduce the salary, and it's a strategy. We have fantastic professional, and we have the Black people have different ideas, and they change the contents and the television or the streaming and anything, and it's more cheap for capitalism, it's easy, it's better, and this is it's stranger. It's stranger for me. We need to make this regulation, and I think the government will work hard to make this very fast. But we are this moment we are in the difficult moment.
Well, we are, but I also kind of am on the side of Luiza in that the toothpaste is out of the tube. And so I think there is no going back, and there are these challenges that you're mentioning, Luis. We do get it. Lyara, please.
Oh, what I would like to add is I think I agree with both, but what I can say is that I understand that we've keep growing since the last. It's not about 5 years in Brazil or in US. Sure. It's about 50, 100 years. So I think we are keep going. It's keep getting better. Since the George Floyd happens, it was a tragedy. But we have daily tragedy like this in Brazil. So for the last, I truly agree that what happens with George Floyd moved the world. So it's historical. We advance, then we get back, and then we advance more. And I think that is what's happening. So for the last 50 years, we've been slowly getting better. In the last 5 years, we speed out. And of course, this speed out make a reaction.
Yes.
So now we have to deal with this reaction. But I think we will keep going on. We will keep advance. It's not easy because sometimes I think it's historical for the humanity. Good things, bad things bring good things, and then you think, oh, now everything is going better, and then you understand, no, it's not so easy. Let's get back, and so I think that is what's happening, and that's why I'm not afraid. I understand that it's not a very good moment, but of course it's better than it was 10 years, and we are not getting back about what was 10 years ago. So that is what I think. I think we will keep going, we will keep getting better, but now at this moment we understand, oh, they are fighting back. So we have to be more prepared for this.
Well, thank you, Lyara. I think it's a great life perspective. This too shall pass. And, you know, when we look at the history of our people, again, around the world, we continue, we persist, we triumph over and over and over again. And yes, it is challenging, but, you know, now is the time, and we have the technology to be able to connect with our brothers and sisters, siblings around the world. And so in that regard, as we kind of, you know, move towards the end of this conversation, which could, for me, go on forever, looking at the technology that we do have, you know, where do we see AI and other technologies giving us the opportunity to take control of the narrative, even on the funding side, even on the, you know, behind the screen production side? Do we have any, do we feel like there are any maybe special cases or shoots that are sprouting up in Brazil, particularly?
Wow. I'll start this last one. What I think about the new technologies is we need to understand these technologies. That's why I truly agree that knowledge is very, very important. So people are saying, oh, AI is going to take everything. AI is going to take our jobs. Yes and no, because there will be other jobs, and we need to understand, and we need to truly understand the technology. That's what I think. We need to understand, and we need to use the technology as a tool. It's a powerful tool. So knowledge is necessary. We don't. It's a very lazy way to think. Oh God, now AI is going to take my job. Now AI is going to create everything. No, I don't think it's going to happen. But what I think is we need to understand and to use the technology as a powerful tool that it is, and not just think, oh my God, it's terrible, it's terrifying. No, it's not. It's something. Let's use it. Let's use it for our own good. So that's why I truly understand, and I agree that about the powerful of education and the powerful of getting knowledge and to understand these new technologies.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Luiza.
I love your question because my film is about AI. So I'll use this moment just to give a quick. It's a Afrofuturistic comedy about this older gentleman who decides to buy a wife robot, and he thinks she's gonna be, a young, sexy-looking robot, and he gets Léa Garcia, who is an 89-year-old, beautiful-looking robot. And for those of you who don't know Léa, she's Brazilian royalty. She's the first, her with Ruth de Souza are the first Black female actresses in Brazil. Léa became internationally known for Black Orphans. She was actually the first female actress in Brazil to be nominated to an award here at the Cannes Film Festival in 1960 for Black Orphans. And my film was her last film. And I feel so honored, and especially because I gave her this role where in Black Orphans, he needs to grow through the path, and he can't look back, otherwise he'll lose his love, right? And it was her first film. And then her last film is an Afrofuturistic where she's this robot and it's looking into the future, So it's, thank you. I am forever grateful for her. So So anyway, so I think that when I love making stories about AI and thinking of, sci-fi and how the future is going to be. And I honestly think that AI is an ally. And it can empower us as filmmakers from the African diaspora, because our resources are limited, our time is limited, and AI can speed up our conversation, it can speed up our process, our creative process, and it can speed up the quality of the work that we can make. So I don't think we need to be worried, but I do think that we need to push for regulation, especially in terms of IP, in terms of protecting our data, in terms of protecting our security, and in terms of protecting our AI can manipulate us. It's been proven, right? Like we've had governments that came to power because of the algorithm, which is AI.
Yes.
So we need to look at that. We need to look at that with maturity, and we cannot be naive. So we can have regulation and use it as a tool, and it's a wonderful tool.
So protect our self-determination and our authenticity.
Exactly. Yeah, because when we start talking, I don't know if anybody has done this, but when you start talking about it with AI, it's your best friend. You can put some ideas in your head.
Inception. Louise, last comment.
Yeah, I use it a lot in my send to virtual reality, my series, and I don't think AI take the job, for example, for the script writer, because when you try to make less simple things like argument in AI, it's so a stranger, and people recognize like the language of AI. But I think, for example, I shooting 1 year. I shoot like 3 months and 1 year, and then I need to wait like 6 months for continue to shooting, and my series have like kids now, and the kids growing, and they change the voice. It's very difficult.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, and we have like we use the AI for make a balance now. And this is very interesting, and I think we have many technology to make different things and transform like expensive things in more cheap. Like, for example, when I had like one big scene and the principal street in Rio de Janeiro, and I need to clean all of things, like train and bus, and if you use AI for this, it's very, very more cheap than the traditional method.
Sure. And again, just keeping it as a tool and recognizing that we are irreplaceable, especially when we are in alignment with our assignment.
Yeah.
So thank you all for being here. Thank you just for, again, showing up fully, powerfully. Lyara Oliveira, Luiza Botelho, and Luiz Lomenha, thank you so much for representing Brazil here at Cannes so wonderfully and powerfully. All right.
Thank you.
Round of applause, everybody.